Hey guys, so today's lesson for our getting to know our mySewnet software is going to be on the Encore tab. The Encore tab is really fun. I really like this one. It lets you do all kinds of fun things. So let's go ahead and get started by double clicking on our mySewnet icon and double clicking on the embroidery. Once that opens, we're going to go ahead and choose blank canvas. And we are going to go ahead and do the 240 by 150 millimeter hoop. And it doesn't have to be, the hoop grip doesn't matter. We just want that size, the 240 by 150. And we do want it natural, not rotated, which rotated, put it on its side. And we don't want that. So we want it the natural. And then just say, okay. All right, in order to use the Encore tab, we actually have to have a design in our hoop. So the first thing we're going to do is go to Super Design. On the Super Design tab, we're going to choose a design. And because it's cold and miserable here right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm thinking about spring. So I want to do flowers. So I'm going to go to the category, flowers and leaves. I want the flower to be noticeable enough to make changes to it. So if I rotate it or do certain things, I need to visually be able to see. And I really like this one that they call a poppy, this white poppy. I think it looks more like a dandelion, where it's fluffy, but whatever. So under flowers and leaves, I'm going to go to flowers number 4. So flowers 4, and I'm going to grab this number 5 white poppy. And I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Now I know 84 millimeters is going to be too big, so I do want to decrease the size, and I'm going to decrease it to 50. Once I have that size decreased to 50, I'm going to click on the apply button. And there it is. And there's my colors over here on my design panel. All right, so now we're going to click on the Encore tab at the very top. All right, so this is where the fun starts. So this determines our layout. This area right here determines the layout. This is the circle, the shapes, the lines, and the hoop. And we're going to do all of these, so we're going to get into that. But I'm just going to kind of go everything with you real quick so that when I'm saying it, you'll know kind of where it is. This is standard, that's the default. All of the embroideries will face the same direction. We can also mirror them so that any two copies, so any two will mirror each other. The third will face the correct way, so on and so forth. This gives you an example of what your embroidery is going to look like. So we have circle selected right now because it has that green around it, or teal, and then it's a circle. This is the line options. So if you choose line, these options become available to you. This is the shape options. When shape is chosen, these options are available to you. Hoop options, again, when you choose hoop, this option becomes available. Now you'll notice number of repeats. So there's repeats and gap. So it will depend on what you choose, what one you get. Lines and circles, so circle and lines get repeats. Shapes and hoop get gap. Group, this groups them all together and allows for changes afterwards. And this is my favorite part of Encore. It lets you preview before actually putting it in your hoop. So instead of saying apply and it states the changes and you're like, I don't really like that, you have to click undo. Well, this one doesn't make you do that. You can preview it, and that's what we're going to do. It's so fun. I really, you can do so much with this tab, this part of the module or the part of the embroidery. It's really fun. So we're going to start with circle. Obviously, it's the first one. And we're just going to leave the defaults. So circle, the standard, and the repeats are going to be 6. And the group is going to be checked. And we're going to go ahead and hit preview. So there are our 6 poppies. I forgot what they call them. Poppies in a circle. So I think that's too few. I think we should up that repeats to 8. So I'm going to come up here and I'm simply going to type in the number 8. And I'm going to hit preview again. I didn't have to undo. I just clicked preview and it added those 2 more poppies to my hoop. Now I'm going to show you where the creativity and the fun comes in because you can actually change the circle. So you can take the circle and you can shrink it in. And you can make them almost touch, or I guess some of them are overlapping. And you can make them really overlap for a really cool look. See, I really like that. It kind of makes that knot in the center. I really like that. I think it's fun. And you can also do, let's pull them apart a little bit more so you can see. You can see this little oval right here, and my cursor changes to kind of like a pointy on each end. You can actually make it an oval. So you can stretch it out, and you can still, once it's stretched out, you can still push them together. Now they only do go so far in oval mode, but if you go in circle mode, let's put them back. I think they go further. Yeah, they kind of go further. And they did have, I think it's once you play with this, it kind of messes everything up. So anyway, so you got that, and you can play with your circle however you want. And then you can cancel it. So we're back to our 1, or we can preview and keep it in preview. So when we start making our changes, we can visibly see it. Okay. Pretty cool, huh? So one of the things I am going to do real quick just to show you just how much control you have of your software. So let's say we really like this design. This is what we wanted to stitch out. We thought it was really cool. We want that. So we're going to hit apply. Now notice before we had nothing on our film strip and we had nothing on our design panel. But when we say apply, all that stuff appears, and look at all the crazy color changes. The reason you have so many color changes is because you can actually change each one of these individually. So let's say that I wanted to change the colors of all the poppies. I didn't want them all to be this gray color. I wanted them to be different colors. I would double click on the color, and then I could just choose a color. And we're going to go with this pretty coral and say, okay. And there it is. You can do that with every color on here. You could change each one of these colors if you wanted to, and then they'd be all different. Isn't that cool? I love that. It's so fun. So we're going to go ahead and hit undo to get back to where we were. And so that's how we do the circle. Oh, let's show you this part. So we're going to mirror it. So each pair is going to be mirrored. So let's do it this way first so you can see it. So we got 8, so we're going to preview them. Okay, now all the leaves face the same way. See that? That big leaf right there all goes the same way in your circle. But if I choose this and say preview, they now flip. So now they'll give you a different, and see how it gives me a different look in the center even. So instead of that one knot, I have this less of a knot. So anyway, that's what that does. So let's go ahead and increase them out again. All right, so now let's do a shape. Shapes are really kind of fun because it's going to, I'm going to go back to standard. Shapes, you have so many choices. So you have triangles in different directions, you have a square, you have a diamond or a square turned on its side. Just so many different shapes. This is more of a diamond in my opinion. So we're going to choose one, and which one do we want to choose? I think let's go with this octagon. I think that's an octagon. Yep, octagon. So we're going to choose the octagon. So that was under shapes. Hold on. Your show all button. Click on your show all button and then scroll down, and it is number 11. So 11 down. The gap, we're going to leave the gap at 2 millimeters right now. It's a pretty small gap, but we'll see what it looks like. And we're going to hit preview. Okay, so you can see that there's 2, basically 1 in each side. It's kind of, it kind of reminds me of a circle. But not quite. It's a little different. And then you can do the same thing. You have control on how to shape it. And each shape will change differently. Okay, so that was the octagon. So let's do this triangle right here. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that's a mess. Definitely a mess. All right, let's try this one. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that definitely is a triangle. You can definitely see the shape of a triangle. So I will give this one to that one. It is definitely a triangle. Let's do the square just so we can see and preview. Wow, that is definitely different. So it almost fills the square and it made it really big. Let's try it, this one. Okay, so you can see the square. So here it is. And it fills it. It's just not the outside of it. It literally fills even the in center of it. So that's pretty neat. Let's change our gap. Let's increase our gap and see what happens. Nothing may happen because it's a weird shape. Let's do 10 so we can see really good. And then we're going to say preview. Yeah, nothing happened on that. That's disappointing. Let's see if we make it bigger. I wonder if my software was just delayed. Oh, do you see how that changes? Interesting. Okay, so let's get rid of this because this is just a mess now. So we've done that. And the gap, you really didn't tell a lot in the gap. Oh, let's try this. Let's cancel it. There we go. Okay, so I had to hit cancel and then I had to hit undo one more time. I think it kind of got messed up a little bit with all the craziness going on. Okay, so we're gonna do that square again and we're gonna change the gap to 10 and we're gonna preview it. Okay, so that's more like what I figured it would do. I think something went wrong when we were doing that. I think it was just too much. I think it was taking multiples of it and doing it. So we're gonna not change shapes when we do that. I think it's posing a problem. I think it's taking all of them. So, okay. So lesson learned. It'll multiply them. Okay. So then you can stretch this out to kind of fill the hoop or whatever. And that's that gap with that 10 millimeters. So we're going to go ahead and cancel real quick. And this time we're going to change our to 50 and do it again. And notice how it's just the 4 of them again, but it stays 4 for longer and it only puts the extra 2 in there. So if we up the gap even more, we could get it so they're just in the corners. So that'd be kind of something fun to think about doing, is just adding them to the corners. Yeah, you could just put them in the corners, but you could do it where they're actually evenly spaced. All right, we're gonna go ahead and cancel this one. And let's try that triangle again now that I know that we're shouldn't put too many into it because it's just multiplying it. Let's do, I don't think the heart will do it. We'll do a triangle and preview. There we go. That's more what I thought it would do. So what was happening is we were doing that and then we were adding this on top of it and previewing. Okay, that time worked. I have no idea what happened the last time. Oh, I bet it grabbed that one and that's why it was up. Anyway, it's working normally now. I think something went wrong. So if your program didn't look the same as mine, I think mine just glitched or something, or I did something really crazy. Okay, so let's do this diamond real quick. That's kind of cool. So, and then we can, don't forget, we can flip them and preview them again. Oops. Did they flip? Okay, I wonder if my software is delaying. This is getting really weird. Let's do something I can really see. Let's do a square again. And this one. I'll preview. Standard. Preview. Okay, that's not working. Let's cancel it. Let's hit this again. Now let's preview it. This did. I guess those two? No, they didn't flip. That's bizarre. Okay, not sure. Maybe they did. Maybe I'm just insane. Okay, let's switch. Let's go from this one to the line, and let's preview our line. So now that one definitely worked. See how they're all opposite? That looks cool. That'd be fun as a border, like on a skirt or a bag or something springy because again, it's cold. So that's 8 repeats. So let's drop it down to 6 and let's do 5. There we go. That would work in our hoop. So pretty cool. You can do a straight line. You can also do a curved line and preview it. You could do this. I don't think this will work very well, but we'll, yeah, that's, let's undo that. Oops, yeah, undo. Let's try that again. That one, preview. Yep, did the same thing. I thought maybe it'd be like weird again, but it's not. Yeah, this one would look really cool with a small design. We may go back and get something for some of these ones that need those small designs. Um, but again, so we have our repeats, we have all that. Arrange similar. Swiss number was together and result and using multiply embroidery designs. Multiple. Oh, I know what that does. I'll show you guys what that does. We'll have to get another design. Okay, so we've done the circle, which is probably my favorite besides line. I do like line. Shapes, they can look really cool, but it's really kind of your personal opinion. Line, use that a lot, and hoops. So this is our last one. All right, so we're gonna click on hoop, and we're going to go, oh, let's do this back down to 10, not 100, 10, and say preview. And there it is along the hoop. Apparently it has not enough gap to put the ones on the side. So let's change this to 5 and hit preview. And there we got them. So that would actually put them all in there. I don't think if we do the gaps smaller, I don't think it's going to make much difference, but let's try. One more. And oh, yep, it put quite a few more in there. And we still have them flipped, so they're doing that flippy thing. Let's see if it goes to 0. Let's just see what happens. Nah, no, it didn't like that. So this is the fun with your software. Oh, I forgot. You can remove the corners. So see how that they're in the corners? You can remove them and it'll take them away. It kind of makes a cool shape. Or you can have them in and your margin. What your margin does is how close to the edge of your design they are. So it's at 2 millimeters. So let's change that to 10 and say preview. And then there it is. It smushed it all in more. And then let's go ahead and remove those corners again. And there you go. This part of the software, you could spend all kinds of time playing in this because it is so much fun. I really enjoy it. But we're going to go back and we're going to get another super design so that we can see some of these really cool shapes the way they should. So we're going to go ahead and hit delete, and that just makes my design go away. We're going to go to the super design, and now we're going to go get one of these little tiny designs. Let's do, since my background's white, I don't think that one will look good. Let's do this one. And we're going to make it 10 millimeters and say apply. Okay, so now we have this super teeny tiny little thing in there. So this is going to be even more fun because you're going to get some of those defined shapes. So let's go back to shapes and let's choose one of those crazy shapes. Let's do that octagon that didn't really work out before. And the gap, let's do the gap not at 0. let's do it at 2. Okay, and then we're going to say preview. And so then you can see an actual octagon. You can see the definition of it making an octagon. So the smaller the design with these, the better, because it gives you that defined shape. Oh, look at that. That is perfect triangle. Wouldn't that be fun? And then you could put like an initial in here and stitch that out as like a monogram. So this would be kind of fun to do that instead of using frames or whatever. You can make your own frame using Encore. So you can just, whatever your mind can think of, you can do in this software. It's one of the things I love most. It's so versatile. So we're going to do a star just to see what happens. Oh, okay, that, I got what that was. We're going to undo that because I see what happened. Okay, somehow it accepted that change. So let's change that. So preview. Oh, and there's the star. Let's change the gap on our star. Let's change it to 0. Let's see what happens. There. Oh, how cute is that? And you could put an initial. Oh, so fun. I love this. Okay, so those were those shapes that we had trouble seeing with the bigger flower. So let's do the line now, especially this one. I've been just wanting to do this one. And let's crank up the repeats. Let's do 16 and say preview. Oh, we need more than that. Let's do 30. Oh, just makes them further apart and bigger. I don't think so. Okay, so let's do 20. It's all right. I'm not real fond of this one. Let's see if we resize it. What happens? Yeah, I'm not loving the. No, I don't really like that shape. I'm a little disappointed. Let's try this one. Now that one's kind of cool. I'd say I like that one. They're closer together. I was really hoping that the other one, the curvy one, would be closer together like this one, but it wasn't. Okay, so you've seen how we do one design and how we can do the different shapes and around the hoop and change the repeats and remove corners and all that. But here's the other thing we can do. We're going to go get another super design. So we're going to leave this one, okay? But now we're going to get another one. Let's do a leaf. We'll do this one. And we're going to make the leaf, yeah, that'll be good. And apply. All right, and we're going to move it off. Let me think how we're going to do this. Okay, now I want it separated. Okay. All right, so now I have 2 designs. So we're going to go back to our Encore. And over here on the film strip, so on the very far left where you see your flower and your leaf, we're going to click on the flower. And then on your keyboard, you have a control key. So the CTRL key, you're going to touch that and hold it down, and you're going to click on your leaf. That's going to select both those designs. Okay? So now I have them both selected, and now I'm going to hit circle. And I'm going to go standard. Repeats, I'm going to change this to 10, and I'm going to say preview. Okay, so now you have 10 flowers and 10 leaves. Okay, so we're going to apply that, and I'm going to move this. Okay, then we're going to go back to super design. And we're going to get that flower again, and we made that 10 millimeters, so we're going to say apply. And we're going to get that leaf, and it was 10 millimeters, and we're going to say apply. Now this time, I'm going to take these 2, and I'm going to go to the Home tab. Now, we've gone over the Home tab a little bit, but we haven't really used it. So now we're going to do that same thing. We're going to have, so our leaf is selected right now. We're going to hit our control key, and we're going to click on that flower. Okay, they're both selected. We're then going to find combine, and we're going to click on combine. And then we're going to choose combine selected. That's going to combine those two together. So now we're going to go back to Encore. So now this basically makes it a design. So how we had the circle before and we had the flower and the leaf, but they were separate designs, so they paired them out evenly. This we're going to take and we're going to do, again, repeats are 10, and this time we're going to preview. Now it took the design as a whole. So it was originally two separate designs, which gave us this. But now it's one design, and it gave us this. Okay, so we're going to say apply. And, oh, I should get that a little bit bigger. Grab this one. I'm just going to stick it inside of that one. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to go back to Super Design, and we're going to get that flower again, and we're going to make it 10 millimeters. And we're going to add a second one. So now we have two, and they stack right on top of each other, so you kind of have to move it away. Then we're going to get that leaf and say apply. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stick the leaf with that flower. Oops, I'm going to move this one. Okay, see how my stem is on top of that flower? I don't want that. So I'm going to move my leaf up into my direction. So what I did was, in order for my flower to stitch on top of my leaf, I need the leaf to be higher in the stitch out order. So it was down here, and I clicked on it. I held my left mouse button down, and I drug it up right before the flower. Okay, so let's make sure. So now that flower is that one over there, but I want this flower to be next. So I'm going to grab it and I'm going to move it up. Okay, so that's the correct stitch order. So we're going to go to that Home tab again, and I'm going to choose that leaf. I guess I could have left the flower, whatever. Then I'm going to hit Control, and I'm going to hit the flower, and I'm going to go to Combine, and I'm going to do Combine Selected. Okay, so now I have my flower, my leaf, and a single flower. I'm going to go back to Encore. I'm going to click on my flower and my leaf. I'm going to hit my Control key, and I'm going to click on my flower. So technically I have three different designs, but I've combined two, so that makes it one design. So then I'm going to leave my repeats at 10, and I'm going to hit preview. Can you see it? Okay, so now I have flower, leaf, flower, single, flower, leaf, flower, single, insert. And notice, so let's make this one bigger. Okay, so we have now used the same basic two designs in three different ways. I'm going to go ahead and say apply. I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. I'm going to put it in the center. I'm going to click this one and put it in the center. Wish I would have made that one a little bit smaller, but that's okay. Okay, and so I have made all kinds of different things, and you could put an initial in that. So let's go do that, just because we've already done the letter tab. So I'm going to click on the letter tab, and I'm going to come here, and I'm going to get a letter. Let's do this Valentina. And I want it to be, I think 25 would fit in there. And I'm going to do S for Stephanie, and I'm going to say apply. Oh, that's too small. That's okay. We get the gist. Oh, we can do that one thing. Do we all remember how we right click on our letter and then go to edit lettering, and then we change our size? So let's do 40 and then say okay. And there it is. And we could change the color to match. And there we go. How fun is that? So we basically used 3 different tabs. Well, 4 technically. We used the Home tab. So we used the Home tab, the Encore tab, the Letter tab, and the Super Design tab. We used the same basic designs, multiple ways to add dimension, add a different thing to it. Anyway, so that in of itself is the Encore tab. It can do so much. It didn't have to be a circle. We could have done that same technique in so much more. And as you notice on our film strip, as we applied those and kept the changes, they did show up. And if you notice, it's 1 through 10 because there's 10 individual ones. And again, we could change each one of these colors to be something totally different. We don't have to keep them. The other thing we can do is, let's say we wanted all the red to be the same. We all wanted all the red to be changed. We can do combine, and we can do combine all. Okay, so now look at our color list. Now it is crazy. But what we can also do is color sort. So let's move this to the center of the hoop so you guys aren't looking down all the time. There. And then we're going to do color sort. So now we have the colors. Now notice that there is different, and that's because of that green. It laps over on some of the red and it's under some of the red. If I would have paid attention in the beginning when I was showing you, I would have corrected that so you only had 2 reds and 2 greens. We could actually, okay, you can actually change that. But I'm not going to show you that today because it's getting way up there into how I want you to progress. We've already probably gone a little bit further than I wanted you to progress, but I wanted you guys to see just how much fun this could be, and you have to see it all. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to change the colors, and I really like this. Oh, it's peach. Let's do peach. And let's do this one in peach. So this, okay, so let me back up just a minute so that you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. So the default to this one is Sulky Rayon because that's what the Super Design used. It used Sulky Rayon. So that's why you're doing that. And I'm going to show you why this is important in a second. So then when we chose what is normally coral with Robus and Anton, it is peach with Sulky Rayon. So we're going to go ahead and accept that change. But remember that, 1019 in peach. Say, okay. All right. So now this red is going to come up Robus and Anton. And I know that because all fonts do Robus and Anton. I'm pretty sure I want to say that. There could be a straggler out there that wasn't. So it says show my thread ranges. That's what you would have already put in there, and you can manage that, and we'll do that later. Or show all thread ranges. And we're going to show all thread ranges because I know Sulky's not in my thread range. And we're going to click on that, and we're going to go find that Sulky Rayon 40. And they're alphabetical, so here we're in the Sulky, and then Rayon 40. So Rayon 30, Rayon 40. So we're going to click on Rayon 40. Then when I click on this, it's going to be that peach. If I would have used the Robus Anton, it would have come up coral, and that's not what we want. We want all the colors to be the same. And then we're going to say, okay. And there it is. So now we're going to do color sort one more time. And that put that S so it's stitching out with the rest of them. And there you go. That is Encore in the nutshell. It's so fun. I hope I talked a little slower. I know that I move really fast. It's me. So I hope I slowed down just enough. If not, put it in the comments. I'll try to slow down again. I know I kind of jump. I love this software so much I get excited. It's just my personality. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Tune in next week. Next week we will do the frame tab. Super Design, we will constantly go back there because we will go get Super Designs and Letter Tab the same. We'll always go there. Home Tab again. What's going to be really fun is when we get to this Create one. So I'm trying to hurry kind of through. We may skip Applique, Embellish, and Modify. We're going to do Create after Frame. I just can't wait. I just want to do it. It's so fun. So tune in next time. I've been trying to post on Thursdays, but Thursday just always seems to be a real bad day. Next week, I might not be able to post. I'm going out of town. I will try. I will try my best. If not, it'll post on Sunday of next week. All right, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you later.